My name is Chris Stefura. I work for BFL Canada Risk and Insurance Consulting Services, and I've been with BFL now for about a year and a half, and my role there is a client executive working with hotel owners and resort owners across Canada.
And how does somebody like you end up in a role that is hotel-centric, hospitality-centric?
Yeah, well, falling into insurance is no one's career job out of university. I actually have an HR major by trade, but fell into the role, and throughout the 12 years of progressing within the industry, I found my niche about 9 years ago with hospitality, where I was able to really connect with the owners, with whether it be hotels, restaurants, resorts, etc. And from then on, I flourished in that field, and I'm loving every minute of it. So my role is servicing a client book, as well as prospecting, reaching out to new clients, and letting them know about the options that they have with the insurance industry. So typically what I do with my clients, of course, is reach out to them, go through the renewal process, make sure that they're aware of exactly what are they being covered for. What I find a lot of times is people will have an insurance policy, but when you're asking them, oh, what is this coverage, or why are you going with this option, a lot of times they're not aware. So what I like to always do, and some clients like it, some don't, but I always like to take the step back, slow down, and do a full review, whether it be with a new client or even with an existing client, just so that they're aware exactly what they're covered for, so that if they do have a loss, whether it be on a property front, such as a fire or water damage with a pipe breaking or a flood or a slip and fall, they know exactly how and what they're covered for with their insurance, as well as helping them navigate with the different franchises that are in Canada for the hotels.
Of course.
Each franchise has its unique requirements for the insurance to make sure that they're aware that they are fully compliant with those franchise agreements, and that they're not going to have any issues at time of renewal for their insurance.
That's really interesting. So you're providing a very holistic approach to allowing either a franchisee or an owner-operator directly navigate the insurance landscape. And most of them, or at least some of them, are not necessarily well versed in their coverage. They know it's a line they have to sign, but do they really understand it?
Yeah, and that's the conversation that I like to have, is that yes, insurance is a bottom line purchase. Like anything, it is an expense. It's an unfortunate expense because it is a tangible or intangible asset where you're more or less just signing a guarantee that this is how it'll respond if you have a claim.
But you never want to have that claim.
But you never want to have that claim.
Yeah.
But you're not buying a big screen TV, or you're not basically, if you spend $100, you get something back as a product. You're spending thousands of dollars, and you're basically getting a piece of paper that says this and this will be covered. So the first thing that I like to do is have that two-way communication with the client, with the prospect, with a new business, is to find out exactly how do they view insurance. Is this more or less just a bottom line purchase for them? Is it something that they are invested in and wanting to make sure that they understand what exactly they're covered for? That's usually the basic to developing a really good relationship and long-lasting clients, is having that two-way communication where they are open and honest how they feel about insurance and what they want out of it, as well as what myself as a broker, how we are going to achieve that goal for long-term sustainability and success for the client. Unfortunately, I know insurance premiums over the last, I want to say 3 years for sure, with the global pandemic, with the travel restrictions, with both provincially and international, that has caused a great increase in the cost of insurance for the hospitality sector.
Sure.
Now, good news is things are gravitating and balancing back out again. Within the insurance market, we do have hard and soft markets. So during a hard market, rates are unfortunately higher. And in a soft market, there's more competition, so rates are generally lower. But you're right, in a sense, right now is a time with the natural disasters that we're seeing with the east coast of the hurricanes. In Winnipeg, we had a massive hailstorm go through the city, the Calgary flood that happened a couple years ago, BC with the wildfires. the natural disasters that are occurring are in greater number. So to make sure that you have the proper coverage, that you're fully covering your asset, because again, that's what a lot of people are covering, is their asset and their belongings. So if you have a $10 million hotel, that's a $10 million asset to yourself, whether you are wanting to pass that down to future generations, whether you're
succession plan
exactly, or for retirement. That basically is wanting to make sure that you're taking care of your business, and the best way to do that is to have those two-way communication and have that conversation on what is my plan in the event of a claim, how do I want my insurance to respond. It might be scary conversations to have, whether you're finding out that limits are not maybe where they need to be, or if things have to change, but it's definitely a conversation that I'm hopeful that I have with all my clients, to make sure that they are aware exactly when they are signing and taking a policy, that they know what they're covered for in the event of a claim. Having that conversation and going through exactly what is covered, how something will respond in the result of a claim goes measures. I've had clients where they are blown away just by how much knowledge they were provided, in a sense of they were never told this in the past, or they were never aware that this was how this would respond, or they've had claims in a certain area and they didn't know that their policy would actually respond in that way. So they unfortunately didn't reach out to their provider or their broker. So having those conversations really helps the client understand maybe they don't want to make a claim for something. Maybe they want to self-insure a bit of their risk and have some of that coverage alleviated from the insurance company and on themselves, because they want to have that stability within their insurance, where they are only going to put through a claim if it's a certain threshold. Having those kind of conversations is vital to the industry, to make sure that hotel owners abroad are knowledgeable of what they're buying and what are some of the ways that they can work within the confines of their policy to align it to the best of their values for the future. If you have a property that is down in the States and you are looking to buy a property in Canada, well, there are vast differences, especially in the litigation that will happen in the US versus a Canada, or vice versa. If you have a Canadian owner that's looking to buy in the US, then again, having those conversations on how litigation and how insurance is different between countries is a conversation that you want to make sure that you're having with your client as well, if they are deciding to purchase outside of Canada.
So regionally, and in terms of the types of businesses you work with, where is your market extend to?
So for myself, I'm licensed in every province in Canada with the exception of Quebec.
Okay.
In terms of hospitality, it's a very broad umbrella, but pretty much anything related to the hospitality sector, whether it be tourism, resorts, hotels, motels, franchise restaurants, independent, you name it. I work with a vast clientele base, and I've had the privilege and the honor of working with them for almost going on 9 years now, and it's really humble to see that industry that was really put through the ringer, and unprecedented occurrences that had happened and events that had happened with the restrictions, whether it be the occupancies dropping to under 20% in non-city center locations, or seeing the workforce basically deplenished because they don't have that international worker aid coming to work at the hotels. And then the bounce back that we've seen with that industry over the last 3 years is really remarkable. It's a very resilient bunch. They are very humbled, and you know what? It's definitely something I'm glad to see, at least on an insurance perspective, things are moving in the right direction. Things are getting a little bit better. We are slowly at the tail end of the hard market, so by no means are we out of where we were from the 2019-2020, but things are definitely in the right direction, which is great to see.
And I think we've learned, we've overused the word resilience, but we've learned how to adapt. We've learned from the crises we've lived through. And I think that, businesses like yours and people like you who are taking such a holistic approach to the industries that they serve, the fact that you understand all the different facets of hospitality can only inform those conversations you're having. So,
No, exactly. And, for a BFL team, for our hospitality team that we have, we're 25 offices, actually recently as of today, 26 offices now across Canada.
Congratulations.
With over 2.5 billion in Canadian premium servicing Canadian clients, 1,200 employees with growing opportunities within the industry. So BFL has been great to work with the different industry classes to be a part of that very cohesive team approach, where if we have a producer or a CE that's located in Vancouver and they have a concern or a question with one of our colleagues out in Toronto, that communication has been vital to help the industry so that we're all on the same page, that we leverage our strengths as a national broker to be able to provide the best coverage and service we can to our clients.
And leveraging those lessons that we've all learned too.
Exactly, yeah.
That's so terrific, Chris. Really nice to speak with you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, it was nice to speak with you as well.